Welcome, everybody, to this episode 229 of the effing title. I am Vault Dweller 75.
I'm Vault Dweller 69.
And we together are here for some reason. I don't remember why.
We're talking about Fallout.
Really bad intro for me this morning, just saying.
Not bad. Just
stumbling through the words. All of them.
That's how we're all doing in life, right? Stumbling through.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Fallout today. We're also going to talk about some other stuff. Maybe. I don't know. How are you doing, DeNutte?
I'm doing well. I just woke up a nap, so I'm stumbling through today.
Yep.
And that's it. Yeah, I doing pretty well otherwise.
I love that.
Yep, been played Overwatch for a bit last night. Keep playing it. I don't know why that's what we've adopted as a group.
I love it because it's one of my favorite games. I don't get to play it as much as I'd like, but It's one of my favorite games. So I love that.
I'm always like, I wish you were there with us.
Aw.
You don't want to play with us. It's fine.
It's not that. It's just that it gets to a point where it's one of those things like I want to play it more, but it gets to the point where I get to a certain point, and then it's just my entire skill level just goes down, and I just turn into just rage. Like that's it.
My girlfriend, as you just heard before coming in, she's working on to get in competitive.
Love that.
She has not. Which is crazy. You need 50 wins, which like. With some of the people you play in ranked, you're like, there's no way you got 50 wins.
Oh, yeah, no. So is supposedly, this at least used to be an old thing with Overwatch. I don't know if it's still the same thing with Overwatch 2. But there used to be a thing where it was almost always set, so no matter what, your win-loss record would always be 50%. The game almost forcefully made it so that would happen. Which you can see some days. There's some days where you can see it. Like last week, the end of season ranked is a fucking nightmare. There was this point last week at one point where we were 2-8.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like 2-8. No, it was like fucking 2-8. Like we barely got the 2, what sort of thing. Like I put a video up this weekend of me playing Mauga, and the entire video is basically me just shitting on myself and saying how I need to just jump out the window because like it was just one of those sort of days. Like I just
even like custom games are not custom games. Quick play is like super sweaty right now.
It's one of those things that's been happening since Overwatch 2 came out. Which is people saying that quick play still needs to be sweaty, and it's like no, quick play is where you just fucking go and fuck off. Like that's there's a whole ever since Overwatch 2 came out free to play on Steam and everything, there's been this weird growing of quick play is where you sweat out. And it's like
that's what Rank's for.
Exactly. And that's the
quick
thing
play is to like play things you play characters you've never played or you're like trying to learn.
Yeah, exactly. It's where you start to figure out abilities, cooldowns, maps, that sort of stuff. So then when you go into the ranked game, you're not just blindly going into a ranked game going, I'm gonna play fucking Doomfist today.
Dude, a buddy of ours does that, and I'm like, I hate it when you do this.
Me and Rob do it sometimes, but at least when we do it, it's like for instance, the one that I always do is Widowmaker on King's Row.
Okay.
Because on King's Row is a pretty good really Widow map. So I'll do it, and I always write in chat. Is because I always do it only on attack, and I always write in the chat immediately. I'm like, playing her. If I don't get a couple picks straight off rip, I'm switching, and I immediately write that in chat because I'm like letting everyone else know. Like, look, like if I ain't killing shit. So like recently I did it. I had the most kills on our team, but we weren't pushing. Like we weren't able to do anything. So I switched anyway because I was like, I need to feel like I'm doing.
You have to do something. You have to change something.
Yeah. So and our tank wasn't fucking changing. So, it was just one of those things. So
funny. I should say like I woke up from my nap, went out to talk to Kat. I'm like, how's it going? She's like, they told me I should be traded for a bag of rocks. It's very funny because I looked at her stats after. She didn't play poorly. I mean, she had 75 damage, 7,500 damage, 5,500 healing. Their opposite team's Mercy had 5,000 healing, no damage. So like, I'm like, you're fine. Like,
it's always one of those things like you can do, because I've had this one before as well, where it's like you look at stats and like, oh, the stats say this, or like, oh, I had the most damage on the team.
Yeah.
And it's like I've played games where I've played Sombra. I've had the least damage on the team, the most kills and assists on the team, but I've had like 5,000 less damage than everyone else on the team. It's just the fact that like they get him low, I kill him, because that's
like, again, that's like also like how Reaper is. Sometimes you pop in, you kill one person and go away. But you just hit one person.
There's certain characters where that's just a thing. Like there's some like I obviously you want your healers to have good healing stats, but like sometimes a good Kiri or a good Life Weaver that can just save you in certain situations is better than having one of those two that can just like pump out heals.
When they get a Life Weaver pull and you're like, God, you got him.
Oh my! If they ever make it so you can ban heroes, which is something they've been talking about. They ever do it like that, and you can ban 2 supports, I'm banning Mercy and Lifeweaver every game. I don't care. I'm banning both of them, because if I get another, if I'm playing tank and I'm tank fighting with someone, and their Lifeweaver steals him away from me as I'm about to kill him one more time, I'm gonna commit acts of terror. Maybe even that.
It's funny. So. Funny story this week, actually, before we get into fall. Friday night, Friday, Civil War came out.
Yes, I've heard a lot of funny that you said that, because I got 2 things then that I can say as well. So about this,
I bought tickets for my buddy and I to go see it.
Okay,
I bought them Friday night, 7:30. We got there, Auditorium 9. Go in. There's 2 people in the seat. I'm like, oh, I think you're in our seats, and she's like, oh yeah, we're in the wrong row. We're sitting there, and then they get up. They're like, "Oh, well, our seats actually, these are our seats." And I was looking, and they're like, "Oh, we have it too." And I'm like, "You have the right date?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I went, "You know what? I'll go. You guys were here first. I'll go sort it out."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I go out and I look. I'm like, "I bought tickets for Sunday." I bought tickets for Sunday, and it's literally the same auditorium,
same time. That's wild.
I'm like, my buddy. I'm like. I bought us the wrong tickets. So I went to go. I'm like, do you think we could swap these? And they're like, well, you got them off Fandango. They're scalpers. We can't return it. She's actually, I'll just swap it. It's fine. It's not like an honest mistake. And then she's like, well, there's only 2 seats left in the theater, and they're like 2 random seats. We're gonna go see it tonight.
Okay.
It's for tonight, the tickets.
This is Steve-O. Good old Steve-O. I don't know if you remember him.
Jackass?
No, from college.
Nope.
Okay, so Steve-O was a guy that I knew from college. He was in the same class as me. He was one of the civilians. So, smart kid, hilarious, love him to death. He recently sent me something. He's like, I'm about to go to the movies by myself. I have a wife and kids, I swear. I swear I have a wife and kid. Not a wife and kid. I swear I have a wife and dog. I swear. Like, that was the thing they put up online. I was like, I'll come with you. He lives in Virginia, by the way. So it's like, but me being me, I'm just, I'll come with you. I was like, you hold my hand, give me a Twix and a Coke, and I'm all yours, baby. Like, so he's like, so he went to go see it. And he was in the theater by himself. There was no one else there. He's like, there's one other. He's like, there's no one else here. And then he's like, there's one other guy here. Do I talk to him, or will he like wear my flesh? Like, so that was the first thing. The second one is I'm not gonna say any names. Okay, with this one, I did see a review from a certain group that I know, and it was funny because watching the review that starts off with one of them going, I don't want to shit on the movie, but... And then it's like, fantastic this, amazing this, fantastic that, but I just don't understand the message of the movie.
The war's bad. That's the message.
I was going to say, all I know is that it's called Civil War. It's about if a Civil War happened in America today, right? Like, that's...
More, I haven't seen it, but, like, the whole thing is that, like, this is, like, you don't always like what you ask for. It's like a commentary on society right now.
Yeah, so like I'm sitting there, and it's just like it's like mind-boggling to me that like it's like I don't understand the message, or I didn't understand the message. It's like it's pretty fucking clear what the message is.
Not like it's not like what we're used to as American. I haven't seen it yet, but like
Yeah.
I'm aware of stuff that happens. Like it's not our normal, typical American propaganda. It's not like a war movie to make us feel good about ourselves.
Yeah, so it's just like I said,
It's not American Sniper or Band of Brothers.
I haven't seen it either, but I saw that and I found it funny because I'm just like I said, I'm sitting there and I'm like, how do you not? Okay, sure, like
sure,
yeah, it's like all right, keep just shitting on stuff because that's what you.
Well,
guys
the whole
do.
point is like you and I, we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're friends, very different political sides,
Mm-hmm.
and like that. The whole thing is that like you have to be able to like get along, or else you're gonna get bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna die for no reason.
Exactly. Like I said, I haven't seen the movie. I've only seen bits and pieces. It looks like it's like a journalist on one side of it is going to another side of it, and it's about their travel. It's like,
yeah,
there's the message in the movie right there. Oh, what's the message of the movie? It's about a family traveling across a fucking war-broken country. You know, like it's not that difficult. Like people try it. This one of those things, and I will say this is one of those things that I genuinely
symbolism.
hate. And exactly, and we don't do that much, which I love, because we don't look at it as like, so what's the symbolism of Fallout? Well, you see, the symbolism of Fallout is, or you know, it's like we don't fucking care. We watch the movie, we watch it to see if it's entertaining. If there is symbolism in it, awesome. We'll bring it up, but we're not forcefully.
There is actually a symbolism I wanted to bring up with the Fallout.
Yes, right.
I hate saying it, but yeah, there is one I wanted to bring up.
But like, we're not forcing it. It's a
no, we're like it's funny when like
it's not like for instance we didn't do it with fucking Roadhouse.
No. Like you know, like in high school, it was rough. You're like, what's the symbolism behind this? And you're like, what's the symbolism behind this like water bottle? I'm like, he was thirsty, dude. They're like, no.
So the couch
struggle.
The couch was red. Why was the couch red? It's like because he fucking bought it from TJ Maxx. I don't fucking know, bro.
I have a sky blue sectional in my garage that I need to move. You know why it's sky blue?
Why is it
because that's the couch that my buddy had when he sold it to me.
Like, exactly. It's
got it from an estate sale.
I genuinely can't stand it. Like that's the thing. Is like we'll talk about symbolism when we need to. But we're not gonna forcefully fucking jam it into everything. If we wanted to forcefully jam symbolism into stuff, imagine how long the Rebel Moon review would have been.
Oh my god. Next week.
But before we get to next week, we have Fallout this week. So I'm going to put this up. I don't think we really need to, but I'm going to put it up anyway. Spoiler talk. I'm not done, so we're not doing the whole thing. We might finish the bit of that next week, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, we can start off next week with that a little bit. So as Zoo just said, he hasn't fully finished the series yet. You're on episode 6?
Six. Halfway through 6, so I have 2.5 episodes left.
Yes. So right towards the end of it, you're starting to get all of the. So we're going to talk up until then.
Yeah.
And as we always do, because we like doing this first, because we like changing shit up and not doing the same thing that everyone else fucking does. What would you rate the series so far? From what you've seen? Because I've seen all of it now. You haven't seen all of it. What would you rate it as of right now, 6.5 episodes in?
I'd give it a good like 8.6 out of 10.
Okay. I'm gonna go 8.5 just to be just different. But yeah. I agree. It's in that range. It's
because like it's really good. But it's not like the best thing I've ever seen. But it's definitely one of the. You know, it's weird. I like it more than I liked The Last of Us.
Okay, fair. I haven't seen The Last of Us.
If we're comparing like video game adaptations, Last of Us as like a lot of people consider the best video game adaptation. Yes. Came out last year. There's not really been that very many good. I can't name another good video game adaptation. Sonic. Okay, Sonic was really good. I'll give you that. But it's good in a different way.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like so. That's another one is that like The Last of Us and Fallout I feel like are two drastically different.
Yeah, and like well, so like Last of Us is all drama. It's all like serious. It's all like a thriller. This is like a very hard tone to nail, and that's the whole thing about Fallout. It's dark. It's funny. It's morbid. It's like they want to make your stomach crawl while making you laugh. And like that's so like a good friend of mine who I play Overwatch with or grew up with, he's like a giant Fallout fan, but mostly New Vegas. So that's what he's like, I'm not a Fallout fan, I'm a New Vegas fan. And then and then he's like, what do you think of it? I'm like, oh, I love it. He's like, it sucks. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, his writing's awful. I was like, how so? He's like, the knight running away from the Yao Guao going, fuck, 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 fuck. That's terrible. He's like, that's terrible writing. I'm like, that is the humor of that's like the humor of the universe. Like, what do you... He's like, it's just like, it's the writing's so awful. And I'm like, that's such a... You can't just say the writing's awful and be like, it's awful, it's awful. I'm like, well, how's it awful?
I'm trying to find... There's one line in it that... And it's funny because you said about the writing. There was one thing I saw online. It was a meme. I don't think I sent you it. But the Ghoul says it at one point. And it's something along the lines of, like, now that we're fucking here, now that we're here, we got to do everything by the Wasteland rules. We got to do everything else fucking first. Like, that sort of thing. Like, we can't do the main mission. We have to do everything else first. And it's one of those things where apparently, like, all Fallout fans are like, ah! Like, that's it! I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick, but... While
you're finding that, I'll talk more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think they captured the world really well. I think he agreed with this. Anything that goes on with the vault stuff so far is like really done really well.
Well, it's interesting you say that as well, because of course you haven't gotten to this point yet. But I know a little bit now because of the Fallout episode that we did. When it happened, it caught me off guard, even though I fucking knew it was happening.
Oh, when the wedding?
No, this is later on. This is in one of the episodes you haven't gotten to yet.
Oh,
something gets mentioned, something gets brought up, and even though I knew it from our episode that we did, I didn't. It still caught me completely off guard, and like I was like, "Oh, that's really kind of cool. I wonder what." Okay. And it kind of like it got me thinking more about something about the world of Fallout. I still can't fucking find it right now.
But even like I think it's so good. Like, like, I guess in a way you could say it's writing because you could be like, it's predictable. In the way is like the wedding. You're like, something's off.
Yes.
It's building tension. You know something's off, and someone's be like, well, this is bad writing because you know something's off. I'm like, no, that's like tension. So I don't know. I really enjoyed the wedding. That whole sequence where I really love her little brother.
Yes.
Moises Aries. I can't remember his name. I don't know his name in the show, but he
is Kyle. No,
Kyle.
Nope. That's
wrong. The cousin.
No, that's the dad. It's Norm.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it. The dad in the show was Paul Atreides in the original Dune.
Yeah, that's Kyle MacLachlan. That's why I saw that, because I read the wrong name first. I hate that. But
I love the duo of the cousin and little brother.
Yes.
Because every time they come on, like I say to my girlfriend, I'm like, he's so big and he's so little. Because that guy has to be 6'5". Moises Aries, I'm not. I think he's 5'1" in real life.
Oh, so it's episode 3. It's in episode 3. The Ghoul says the Wasteland's got its own golden rule: thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time.
Hey, it's the golden rule. You're like, you got.
It was a meme that said that. It was like, this is the most accurate writing for a video game ever.
But some people might hate that though, which is like, but you're like, they're talking about video games directly. I'm like, this video game adaptation. On Thursday, I watched the first episode.
Yes.
And then my boss came in. What day did it come out?
I think Wednesday? It came out Thursday.
Let me check the dates real quick. So came out Wednesday night.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it was Wednesday night.
Wednesday night at 9 p.m.
Yes.
But the release was the 11th, they said. So, yeah, that's what it was. So I watched the first episode Wednesday night at 9. My boss the next day was like, didn't you say Fallout was coming out? I tried to watch it. I'm like, oh, it came out at 9. He's like, oh, I tried to watch it at 8. So we ended up watching the first episode Thursday night. And actually, he was like to my other coworker, he's like, your homework tonight is to watch that first episode. So he watched the episode and we all talked about it. And he's like, I was like, curious, like, what did you think of it? Like, not knowing anything about Fallout. He's like, open mind. He's like in his 50s, doesn't play video games, but he's like open minded stuff. He watches a lot of stuff. He's like, it's really fucked up. And he's like, it's really dark. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, but I'm liking it. And then my coworker's like, I'm liking it too. So then he's like, your homework this weekend's to watch more episodes. So,
well, that's the thing. I like, cause of course, like I said, I know of Fallout. I've seen the gameplay. I've seen you play it, and then we had the full podcast where I went into it a little bit more to find out more about it. It definitely, I feel like it does a great job of capturing the vibe of Fallout as well. It's goofy in a sense of like, oh, there's a robot here. Oh, hi, robot that's helping me. Thank you so much for helping me. Cool. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna harvest your organs now.
Yeah, what's so funny because like he went as far as to replace her finger first too.
Yes, right.
Like, you're like, he's like he's a helpful robot, but he's like, all right, I did my task. Now to do my next task, which is he got sidetracked by the first task, healer. Next task, harvest your organs.
And then like
he's not killing her.
Just like how blunt it was with the like it's like I just took these cyanide capsules. You know, they're supposed to taste like banana. I thought they would have been a bigger hit. You know, like little shit like that. It was just like
Vault-Tec Plan D. Yeah. He's like, you know, painless death tastes like banana. You know, and they never caught on for some reason.
But then how dry humor, stone faced Lucy was to just be like, zzz, okay, like it's just like
that. Like, also is a weapon from Fallout. That thing she used.
The little
it's called the Ripper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like that's an actual weapon from the game.
Well, that's another thing I want to say is that like I feel like they did such a good job from what I've seen with Easter eggs and little things like that from the game without it being so forcefully like look at what we did. No, it's just like it's like there it is, boom, you know.
So like the pistol she found in the Super Duper Mart, which is another Fallout thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the main pistol in the game. It's a 10mm pistol.
I would say I did find it funny that I watched a TikTok and it was like him watching the video and he's like, no, you just killed those griefers. You gotta loot them now. They might have this on them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and it was one of those things. It's like this is what Fallout fans are doing right now. And I watched the TikTok. I was like, that's actually hilarious. Like that's actually really
you need
funny.
To pick up that Rataway. You gotta pick up that Wonder Glue. You gotta pick up the Mentats. You gotta put it all in your pocket.
And like I said, I genuinely I being just an outsider, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, I loved when they were getting attacked by the Raiders in 33 when the cousin, the cousin fucker, when he like it comes up against the Raider and he does the inhaler.
Yes,
it's called Psycho. It ups your attack power.
Ah, okay.
So that was a thing from the game, and then he fell and got cut in half. But that's like the big thing. It's just so dark at times.
Well, that's the thing. It's like one moment it's like that where they're doing this whole like fighting scene and there's the Raiders in the vault and they're killing everyone and this and that. And then like a couple episodes later, because this is when I sent you the message, I was like, hey, where are you right now on this? And then I said, okay, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is there's no way they're about to fuck and then her water breaks.
Oh my god! It's
just true.
And it's like very funny because she's like, all right, my husband died. I'm about to have this kid. I gotta get like the next most eligible guy here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have this other vault anymore.
Hey,
32's gone.
Here's this small shoe, very large man.
Oh,
it's now yours.
It's so tiny. She's like, all right, put the sweater on. He's like, okay, and then he turns to take it off. He's like, no, leave it on. He's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like it goes like. I will say this is the only negative, or the main negative, I'll say. Because there's probably lots of negatives, but I'll say that for me personally, this is my main one. There's so fucking much going on.
There is, and that's... Well,
there's so much going on. And, like, I watched 2 episodes. I was going to watch, 2 or 3 episodes a day sort of thing up until today. And I watched the first episode, and I had to take, like, a 10, 15-minute, 30-minute break sort of thing. Because I was like, you just throw so much at me, I have no fucking clue what I just watched.
Yeah, and like that could go either way, right? It's such a dense show of like stuff and like terrible writing. I know a lot of people I saw people were upset about this first episode in particular. They were like, why? So like you start follow. I'm awful with names in TV shows. Okay. The main character Ella Purnell. The Vault Dweller.
Yes, Lucy.
They're like, Lucy. They're like, I really love her story. why did we have to then go to Maximus and then like what's with the ghoul? Like why do we have to have like these three what this girl was calling it? She was saying that like the first episode was Lucy, and then it had two mini-sodes within it, which is Maximus and then Ghoul.
It did feel like it felt very much like it was the whole overarching thing because you're at this point, or they're all trying to find the thing. Which I now know what the thing is, but they're trying to find it.
The head. We'll call it the head for now.
We're trying to find the head, right? And that's the overarching thing. But it feels like every episode there is the main person, and then there's the two side episodes, which is the Ghoul and Maximus. And then it just rotates between who is who.
And you know, I'm fine with I love that because like I don't think you can have a story like say like all right, so look at like The Last of Us. We'll compare it to the other really good video game thing. Is like even that story has multiple stories at the same time. They might take place at different timelines, but you can't just follow one linear storyline in a hour-long episode anymore.
Yes, and I feel like especially with this, like I said, this is from an outsider point of view. With them, there's so many factions, there's so many things, there's so much that you have to hit on. That if you did just go straight with Lucy the entire time, you would miss out on so much of the other stuff. Yeah, and like, depending on how long they go for with this, because I don't know how long this is going for. Did it get renewed for season 2?
I have no idea. I'll look that up real quick.
Season 2. Let's see.
I imagine it's going to because I think people are like
there is I'll say this, there is a cliffhanger. So if production commences in that, as rumored, fans would potentially expect a new season to debut late in the year, possibly spring of 2025. A reasonable list of demands for season 2. Season 2, everything we know so far. So it looks like
it sucks because I know I don't know. I've heard that they've retconned New Vegas, which just like kind of sucks because like they've really like turned their back on New Vegas because it's the one game Bethesda didn't make in the modern Fallout games.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because like there's a Sunset Sarsaparilla truck at one point in one of the scenes, which is from New Vegas, and then it has the New California Republic, which was only featured in one of the games, and it was New Vegas.
So I will say this, and hopefully this doesn't spoil anything.
I figured that they're going to mention more about the NCR.
So So what I will say is this, just for people that are watching. Remember, DeNutte hasn't seen the final 2 episodes.
Yeah,
all I'm going to say.
So
just then we don't get any of those sort of fucking comments in the chat.
You idiot! You don't know anything, and I'm like, well, you got to remember, right now where I am is they are in Vault 4. And they're starting to figure out something's wrong.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm at currently.
Yeah, you are literally right. You have edged yourself right to where everything is happening. Because now the next 2 episodes are just as a Fallout player fan, you're going to just cream everywhere as soon as it keeps going.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Sick. So I just really enjoy it. There's nothing about it so far that I don't like.
Yeah, no, I mean I
don't really know how else to say it because like I'm just really enjoying it.
That's the thing is that like, and I think because we don't overanalyze, overlook, overreach in a lot of the stuff that we do. Right? Is the show entertaining? Yes, it's fucking entertaining. It's fun. Is it an hour long? Yes, it's a fucking hour long. So depending on how you are with that sort of stuff.
Oh, I'd prefer it to be an hour long.
Oh, agreed, 100%. But I know that there are some people out there, like for instance, I know there's people out there that have binge watched this entire show in one day. However, the Snyder Cut of Justice League was too long.
Yeah, good point. They're like, I can't watch a 3-hour movie, but I could sit down and watch 8 hours of TV show.
Exactly. It's like,
oh yeah, I can't watch it. I can't watch that, but I'll sit there and watch 20 episodes a season of The Office.
Yeah. So I know there is that sort of a thing with people, which I again don't understand.
I know there was one episode we were watching, and it felt really short.
There was one that was. I was going to say there was one that was in the 50s.
It's 45.
There we go. Okay, I was going to say there was one that was shorter than the others. I do know that.
Even Kat was like, "That was it."
But I will say this: I think the cast is fantastic.
Oh, so this is like I was thinking about this too. Thank you for doing that. I almost robbed that. I'm robbing this from you.
Yeah, no,
I guess.
No,
I think it hits the mold of like what a good TV, like if you're really putting like your money behind a TV show, like you look at like a lot of these other franchises, like say Aragon, for instance.
Yes.
Aragon, they made this movie. The main character was an actor no one had ever seen before.
Yes.
You like it's very hard to make a like a franchise TV show movie from another thing if no one is like has any idea who it is. Like the main character, the girl, she's she was in Yellow Jackets. She's the main character in Yellow Jackets the first season. She was a voice. She does a voice in League of Legends animated show.
Yeah, she did. She's the voice of Jinx.
Yeah, like she was in Kick-Ass. She was in Miss Peregrine's. She's been in stuff. So she's like an Army of the Dead. She was the main character in that.
Oh shit, she was the daughter in that.
Yeah, so like she's been in stuff that her face has gotten out there. She's like proven herself as an actor. She's awesome. This
is kind of your here's your role.
Yeah. So then Maximus hasn't been in a ton of stuff. He was in like a Netflix show, but he's like definitely up and coming, but he's not the main, so he can be a side. And then Walton Goggins, who is like he's been in so much. He's awesome.
I was gonna say it's nice seeing him because like he's one of those guys that there's some of these actors that you get to know eventually, and you see them and you just never remember their names. Like that sort of thing, and he kind of has fallen into that realm a little bit.
Okay,
but
I know him.
Yeah, but we know him though. That's the thing. Like we know, like as the years have gone on, now we know him. But I feel like, especially now with his most recent stuff, anyway, right? Because you look at some of the stuff that he's been in, The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, I want to say his for me, his like role that got him like well known was Django.
Yes.
Like Django. But then like Vice Principals that got him like really out there, and then Justified. He was in Justified, right?
There was.
Yeah, he was in 74. Yeah, he was
Justified.
One of the
there we go. Yeah, I was gonna say.
And so that was like his big role for a long time was Justified.
But the other thing, like, and the thing that I do like about him with this especially is because they asked what is her name again? Ella Purnell. They asked her at like the opening like red carpet thing that they do for digital things that doesn't make any sense. They asked her about like how is it with the fanboys and the gaming culture and all this, like did you find it too much, this that, like was it like aggravating, were they too annoying? And she basically was just like, no, like I played the games, like I as soon as I got the role I played the games because I wanted to immerse myself in all of this, like I wanted to make sure I knew what was going on, and it was kind of fun. It was really cool seeing her almost like Henry Cavill, where it's like, no, the source material fucking matters. Like shut up,
does.
Like that sort of thing. But then you have someone like Walter Goggins, who didn't watch anything. His kids have played the games. He knows of the games, but he refused to play them. He refused to learn anything about it because he wanted to be the person in the room that had no clue what was going on, so that when things were happening, or if things like
for this, I think that works for that character because he's a new character. He's not a separate thing. There's one that frustrates me is like Dune. The one who plays the mother. I keep forgetting her name. She's British. I cannot remember her name.
In the new one, right? The mom to the Atreides to Paul.
Yeah.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes.
She has not even read the book.
Yeah.
And so, like to me, I'm like, bro, you got to read the book.
Yeah, well, like, read it or at least, like, because Timothy, a little side tangent here, Timothy Chalamet was like, I've read the book, I didn't understand it, so I listened to the whole thing, then I reread it again, and he's like, now I'm halfway through Messiah.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of thing. And then it was funny, because, like, he said that, and then they were talking to Zendaya. Zendaya has read it.
Yeah.
And she's now she's listening to it again. And then it was to the new girl that's in it.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, we go. Thank you. And then the same thing with her. Like, she's read it, and then she's like starting to like. So it's cool seeing that because like all of them were like, yeah, no, we've like.
That's like you are playing a character. You should know that character. I think for for Goggins, like I think that's perfect because he's like I am creating my own way in this universe, and everyone like even watching all that like the snippets of stuff, everyone loves him.
Oh yeah, no, it felt like a very natural role for him.
Yeah.
Which I think was kind of cool because if you look at a lot of his other work, it is a lot of cowboy, western, that sort of style of work anyway. And now we're adding this kind of doomsday, zombie, almost ghoulish aspect to it. But it's the same. It's the same thing.
And I really like you get two aspects of his personality. You get like this really dark. Clearly, he's been through a lot of hell as the ghoul, and then you see him before. He's like this loving husband and father. And like he just wants to provide for his family, you know, like he's talking about how he wants to get a ranch. And then like where I am is like when the wife's talking about how like I'm trying to secure a place in the vaults. She knows something's up. She knows something's happening.
Yep.
She's like, we need to get into a good vault. And as soon as she said that, I was like, what do you mean by that? And then he went, what do you mean by that? I'm like, yeah. Like, so
what do you mean by that?
So I really liking how they're doing it. Yeah. It's just like I don't know. It's really I hate to say it, but I have nothing bad to say about this. Oh, one thing I did see at the premiere, the premiere thing they did. Todd Howard was there, and IGN was interviewing him.
Yeah,
and he was like, "You really giving it a 9?"
Oh yeah, yes, I did see that.
He was telling because they were telling people they're giving it a 9, and he was like, "You really giving it a 9?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we loved it." And she's like, "I think it's one of, like if not the best video game adaptation ever." And he was like, "Huh."
Oh yeah, it's completely like it's.
He's shell shocked from Starfield.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's crazy because like really it was, and it's one of the things I've seen another one saying where it's like because of course it's what are we're in April, right?
Yeah.
So in 2 months we get the Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
And the big one with Xbox is that it's Xbox and Bethesda. And I was watching a thing and they were talking about like can we really get that excited about Bethesda anymore because they haven't like it doesn't hold the same weight as it used to.
Well, you got to think what okay, actually
you know, like it was that sort of thing though. Like
when's
Bethesda
the last time you go to Bethesda game?
Exactly.
Like, because what was the vampire game?
Redfall. Yeah,
that was not a Bethesda game, but it was a Bethesda licensed game.
Yes.
And then like Hi-Fi Rush, people love it. I played it a little bit. It's really good.
So pure Bethesda game.
Pure Bethesda game.
We have. I'll go to 03. 03 Fallout 3.
Was that 03?
No, 03. Sorry, 08. 08.
08. Okay.
11 was Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Then 15 was Fallout Shelter and 4.
Shelter's really good.
16, 17 was additions to Skyrim.
Yeah.
76 came out in 18.
Yeah.
And then Elder Scrolls Blades. Never mind, it's an Android game. Android iOS.
Okay.
And then the most recent one is Starfield, with Elder Scrolls 6, the next to be announced.
Which they announced, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So,
yeah,
like 6 years ago. So the last, really, you could say was...
76.
No. 4.
Oh,
like,
4.
Good game.
Yeah.
Like, people shit on 4. I really liked 4. And like my same buddy who was complaining about the writing of the show was like, you can't call yourself like a fan. You liked a Fallout fan if you liked 4. Like 4 was good.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So like it was the article that I read though was funny because it was saying about how like it's like does the name Bethesda even hold weight anymore?
Yeah.
So when you were saying like because I saw the same thing where Todd Howard's like you're giving us a 9? Like what? Like yeah. I wonder if that's even starting to creep into his head of like it's like. We're just a name at this point. But this, plus apparently there's been updates to the different Fallout games now with this coming out.
76, they've been updating pretty consistently, but now they're putting an update in Fallout 4.
Yes.
They're putting a new... So I guess last year, 2023, they were supposed to update a next-gen version like they did with Skyrim. Mm-hmm. So they were supposed to put out a next-gen version, and then they just never did, and they didn't say anything about it. So... It releases at the end of this month. I think it's the 28th or 29th. They're doing next gen for free, and it's good. It's going to be a bunch of new like equipment and stuff. There's going to be a new quest.
I think that this is, it's one of those things that you see a lot of these games where it's like there's obviously a fan base, there's obviously a want for more, but yet for some reason the studios aren't buying in. It almost feels like. I wonder if this will revive Fallout.
I'm hoping it does, because actually, let's look. Avatar. Yes. They just made a new TV show.
Yep.
I think this is like Avatar. I liked Avatar. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen any of the Avatar stuff. I've seen clips. I've seen stuff. I've seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
I liked Avatar. I didn't love Avatar.
What I had heard is this, and it's the same thing. And this is what I'm gonna say, because this is what I've heard from two different sources now. One of which being an online source, and one of which being Rob. The live action adaptations of these animes are not for anime fans. They're for just regular people to get invested into anime. Rob does not like anime. He doesn't like the cartoon animations of it.
Yeah,
he doesn't like that.
He liked One Piece as well.
He loved One Piece, and he liked Avatar. I liked
One Piece too. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's interesting that I have recently started getting into anime. I haven't seen One Piece and I haven't seen Avatar. I haven't seen either one of those. But I've been getting into anime, and I can understand why people who are big fans, diehard fans of these franchises, are not liking the show. However, though, I find it more interesting seeing someone that hates anime loving the shows. Exactly. Right? So I find that more interesting than anything.
I think, actually, yes. So here we go. Halo's a piece of trash.
Another one, which is funny, another one that Rob loves.
I know. Avatar, I thought was really good.
Yes.
It was fine. It was good. I enjoyed it.
If they do what's rumored
for Avatar.
Yeah. Have you seen the new rumors that have been coming out? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no.
They're going to make it so Toph isn't blind.
Eesh.
That's the rumor right now.
I'm twitching
because it destroys the character. At that point,
destroys the character.
At that point, just put someone brand new in and just have it be.
Put a giant dude in there. Who cares?
The boulder.
Exactly, the boulder. I don't know. I hate it.
I hate it too. A lot of people do, and it's one of those things where they're like, "Well, we don't want to be insensitive to people with disabilities being blind because a lot of her jokes are about that." And it's one of those things that's like, that's what makes it. It's like
she is the greatest earthbender that has ever lived, and she's blind. So doesn't that tell you something?
It's like So it's one of those things. Like I saw that, and I'm just like, I don't even like. I've yet to see Avatar live action or anime, and as soon as I saw that, I was mad because I was like, that's bullshit.
So what I'm getting at is that that was just okay. It kind of polarized people. This. Dude, I don't see anything wrong with this, and I've
seen two things, that sort of way with this. That immediately, as soon as I hear that, I'm just like, you can leave. That's it. That's all. That's my only response. Just you can leave. The first one is that why do we have to follow Lucy? Why can't it be a male character?
All right, you can leave. Yeah, all right. And then I think she's awesome.
And
she's killing it.
And then the second thing is Dane, Zelia Mendez Jones, who is their pronouns are they them. I think it's again the same thing. You can get out.
They kept referring to them by name, and then they referred to as they once. And I saw that too. I'm like, bro, who cares?
Get out! The weird thing is, though, is that Wikipedia does have them listed as a main character, which I think is weird because they're not.
Because they've popped up at the events and screenings
which is fine. They're not a main character.
So if you look at the actually,
because for instance on Wikipedia, here's some recurring characters.
Okay,
Betty's in more stuff than she is. Chet is in more stuff than she is. Like,
I didn't know this until the episode where you see him. Matt Berry is the voice of Mr. Handy. I went, oh my god! When he was at the pool party, you could hear him. You see his back, but you can hear him. I was like, Matt Berry.
Well, that's the thing. It's like another one. Matt Berry is in probably more scenes than Azalea is. I'm assuming Azalea.
He's in 3 episodes because he does.
Is that how you say Azalea? Xelia.
I imagine it's Azalea.
Azalea. We're just gonna say Azalea. If we're wrong, let us know. Yeah. But so it's one of those things. It's like I'm not saying that they don't deserve the casting of main. It's just weird that it's just that like the main characters that they have along with that is Lucy, Maximus, Hank, Norm, who's the brother, and the Ghoul. In my opinion, Hank shouldn't even be a main character. The main characters are 3, and it's the 3 that are right above me right now. And if you're just listening to this and not seeing,
who's Hank?
Hank is the dad. So Wikipedia has it set up as Lucy, the daughter, the main character, Maximus, the dad, the brother, Dane, and then the Ghoul. In my opinion, there's only 3 main characters, and it's the 3 right above me. It's the Ghoul, it's Maximus, it's Lucy. That's it.
And then I'd say top recurring characters is the brother.
Yes.
And then right now, even the Squire.
Yes.
Johnny Pemberton.
Yep.
Who's the comedian? Do you know him? Oh, I said that to you.
Yes, you sent me that. The one that I still can't. I can't.
Back with Michael Rappaport?
I know, not that one. There was another one that I can't.
Oh, the underwear guy.
Yeah, and I can't. It's one of those things. I can't find him as an actor, but I also can't find who I think he is. Because I don't think he is who I think he is, but I can't think of who we think he is because it's one of those things. Is it the normal thing? It's a normal looking white dude. There's a comedian that also is an actor that I can't find out who it is because he's. I hate it. I hate it.
I know a lot of people are going to hate it, but I think it fucking nails it. Is when Maximus stops those guys fighting, and he's like, "Get out of here!" And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Man, he was fucking my chickens," and he was like, "Oh." I know people are gonna hate that, but I fully believe that was like the universe.
That was funny, and it felt. Well, that's the thing is like it felt of the universe, right? I don't know. Like I said, there's my main negative is just the fact of that they throw a lot at you a lot of the time, but then also this is a very heavy, dense universe.
I'm looking at like character lists. It is very interesting that they have Zelia as a main character when they were just in the first episode.
They're in the first episode, and then as you go on, they're in a bit of episode 8, I think, and then or 7, and then a bit, and then you know. But it's not. They don't have the same screen time that the brother does.
Because I would say he is like number 4.
And let's say
you have the big 3 like you have on the screen.
Yes,
but he's like definitely 4.
It feels. I don't want to say weird because I know that someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're just saying that because you can leave." It just
I'm selling. We were literally talking about how Ellie Purnell is like killing it. And she's like clearly main character. Like she's awesome.
Yes, exactly. But I'm very. I liked it. Like I said, my only thing is that it is heavy on throwing shit at you, which honestly, to be genuinely honest, because I haven't seen The Last of Us, so I don't know if The Last of Us also does it. But in a universe like this, there's a lot to throw at you anyway.
No, like when you watch The Last of Us, like when you're watching it, you'll like during the episode you'll be like, oh, like 1 or 2 things are like from the game or like directly or like they'll say something from the game. It's like a handful of stuff. Otherwise, it's like this is the story.
You know what? That's what it is. It's how heavy-handed this is. It's
heavy-handed.
Well, it's heavy-handed in the same way that. Do you remember the feeling that you had the first time you watched Game of Thrones? Like the very first few episodes. There's all of these houses. There's all of this magic. There's some sort of dragons. There's some sort of tribe dude. There's
I love world building.
That's the thing. I'm not saying it's a negative. I'm just saying I'm saying it's a negative. But I'm saying it's a negative as just like it's a lot, which I do like. But Jesus Christ, sometimes though it's like a.
So that's one thing. Like I asked like my coworkers. I was like, as someone who doesn't know the universe, do you understand what's going on?
Yes.
Is it a lot? And my boss was like, it is a lot, but like he's like, I'm liking it.
It's a lot, but and that's the thing is like there's certain things that can throw a lot at you, and then it's just like no, just no, don't like it.
Yep.
And then there's some that throw stuff at you, but they throw it at you in a point where it's almost like the old commercial. Oh, you got to be quicker than that, right? You always are like, what does that mean? What does that?
I really like that she's still like the Wastelander. She's still just like learning about like how the world works. Like when her and Maximus are crossing the bridge, and he was like, "We're not armed," and she's like, "We are armed." He's like, "Shut up! Give me the gun."
Yeah, give me the gun. No, 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 no. All of us just put our hands up. We just walk across, and it's just like
oh, dude, and he killed them. Oh my god, I was like badass.
Yeah,
and then it ended up being a tooth in him. Ugh, gnarly.
I guess
gnarly.
I genuinely like the series. I'm excited if they do a season 2. Very excited. I can see where they're going with the season 2, but that doesn't mean that I know what's happening. I would say that.
Well, well, at this point, because it's its own story.
Yes.
That is one thing that like you can't say they did a bad job because they're not following. Like The Last of Us, they're following that story.
Yes.
This is its own Fallout
its own
vault. They're doing its own story,
which I think is really cool in an extent because there's a scene, and I don't think you've gotten to it yet, but I don't think it will spoil anything if I say this, so I'll say it. But like I said, if it sounds like I'm spoiling something, just let me know. There's a scene where they show the map. It's like it's a flashback. They show a map of the U.S. and I
saw all the vaults.
All of the vaults. Yes, it shows all the vaults, and it's one of those things where like it's that. It's you're not following the same story as the video games.
There's
great, because there's a fucking 100 of them. Like, so it makes sense, and I think that's also the thing that we're getting to with a lot of these, where it's like
no vault in New Hampshire.
There was one in Vermont though.
Yeah, one in Maine, a bunch in Mass.
Yeah, there's one close to the border for you.
Yeah, it's close to the border, but it's not in New Hampshire. Yeah. It looks like it'd be in like Tewksbury.
Yeah, the one from Vermont looks weird because it doesn't look like it's in Burlington, but it looks like it's like between Burlington and Montpelier. So like in that range somewhere, which is very weird.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was going to say though is that
they put it in Barrie.
Probably. Right on top of the strip club. One of the things I will say is that I do like like you're saying, it's a Fallout universe. It doesn't follow the Fallout games. And The Last of Us, what I've heard is that it does follow the games pretty kind of on hand, but at the same time not on hand. Like it's like some like
And I like that they were able to do their own thing, and they did such a good job with it.
Yes, because I feel like with a lot of these, you have to. It's one of the things we talked about with the Halo series. The Halo one, it's like Halo should have just followed the fucking Halo story, not tried to do their own shit, because it's Halo. With this, with there being so many different things, you can do so many different things, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like it all depends on the source material that we have at hand. The Witcher, follow the fucking Witcher. This, we can kind of do whatever the fuck we want. Because the game follows Vault 52. We're going to follow...
That's the whole thing. It's like, I know it's going to get into it more with management and then, like, what vaults do what. And, like, that's the whole thing. It's like every vault had a different purpose.
Yes. So I will do this, okay? And so let me see if I can actually do this correctly here, okay? So, tell me if you can hear me talking here still. Can you hear me talking still, or did I cut out? Can't hear anything?
I can't hear you talk.
Okay, good. So this is for you guys, okay? So the final 2 episodes, because of course DeNutte hasn't gotten to this yet. So what I'm going to do is this, okay?
I can hear you. Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of just give my opinion on the final 2 episodes.
Okay,
that way then you don't get spoiled.
Oh,
but then what you can
do
is once you've watched them, then you can come back and see what I say.
Okay, all right.
So... the thing that I found interesting, I wanted to say because of what we just talked about with the vaults and everything, is that I found it interesting that, like I said, we talked about this during the Fallout podcast a couple weeks ago, where each vault was an experiment, and they did a very good job at hinting at that, and then just completely dropping the bomb on that, and then from there dropping the bomb, as in actually dropping the bombs. Well, we create the vaults, we'll drop the bombs. There, we have the problem, we have the solution. We can do both of these things. Then getting to Cold Fusion, I remember them talking about it at one point and just completely stopped thinking about it. Then we get back to it. Boom, Cold Fusion. Awesome, interesting thing there. And then the ending I thought was weird because, like I said, I know for a fact that Vegas is a thing. The New Vegas is a thing. So seeing them at the end there with that, very intrigued to see what we have going forward here. Okay? That's my opinions. But like I said, last 2 episodes kill it with the amount of lore and stuff they drop. Okay. The thing I wanted to mention, we were skirting right on the edge of it, so it's just like fuck it here.
You were edging it.
No, totally I can't edge myself, bro. I gotta let it out. I gotta just
It's bad for you.
Yeah. But so yeah, like I said, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for the Fallout series, and like I said, I hope it brings back the games a little bit.
I hope, yeah, because I know like Obsidian was supposed to make a game after 4, and then Bethesda was like, nope, don't do it. So it'd be really cool if maybe they didn't let that happen.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if the popularity of this will help with that, which I'm hoping that it does.
I hope.
But so, DeNutte likes it so far. He'll give us an update next week.
I'm looking right now on IMDb. Guess what the IMDb rating is sitting at?
8.5.
8.7.
8.7, so above us.
We were pretty close.
So DeNutte will watch it, and then he'll give his final thoughts on it next week. Next week's podcast is one we have been waiting for months, just so everyone knows. So, actually, let me wrap this up. Fallout. Last things you got to say about Fallout. How about that?
I'm very excited to finish it. I'm upset that I'm liking it this much because I'm like, am I looking at it with rose-colored glasses? Mm-hmm. But then, like, I don't know. I hate Halo, and like I was literally just saying like that Avatar's okay. It's not the best.
Yes.
Whereas this, I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm jaded in like the opposite direction.
I mean, you might be. Who knows? Who knows at this point?
It's gotten 94 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, across the board, it feels like it is.
Well, that's what I kept saying to my friend. I'm like, dude, no one is like hating this. Everyone's like loving this, and he's like, that's not true. I'm like, who's hating this?
Yeah, it's
It's got an 87 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very good.
Yes. We give his thoughts on the last bit of it next week. But next week, though, like I said, is a big one because next week is one that we've been waiting for, and I just looked it up since December.
Is that
December 23rd is when we did the first one. So, with that being said, what we are talking about is Rebel Moon Part 2.
Part 2.
The Scargiver comes out next week.
Okay.
So we will be watching that and then doing a review right afterwards. And then you guys will be getting it. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited to share this one because like this is one that this is one that we've talked about. It's nice seeing original IPs coming out and them being boom. We both thoroughly enjoyed it as well. That also helps.
When's the Snyder Cut coming out?
Of this, we don't know.
The first one?
We don't know yet. But now this is the thing as well, is that I have a picture of it because I took it and sent it to Rob because Rob is also massively into the Snyder Cut, or not into Snyder and this. So recently at the press conference for this, or one of the press conferences for this, Zack Snyder said the director's cuts are the alternate universe of Rebel Moon. Even if the actors say the same line, we used a different take for a slightly different performance.
Oh, so it's like a different movie.
It's a 6. From what he said recently, it is going to be a 6-hour movie.
Dude, I was telling my boss being in the movie too, and I was like, it's gonna be like 4 hours, but 6 hours.
So part two is a regular 2.5, 3 hour movie.
Yeah.
The director cut of Rebel Moon, it's getting a different.
Is it 1 and 2 together?
It's 1 and 2 together.
Okay, all right.
Brand new logo, brand new title for it. And it's going to be still Rebel Moon, but it's going to be a different title for it. All of it's going to be brand new marketing, logo, everything, and it's going to be like a 6-hour fucking movie.
Ed Skrein died in the first one, right? They killed him.
No, remember they bring him back.
I couldn't remember. Oh, that's right. Injected him.
Yeah, because they inject him and he goes into that. He goes into that like shadow world or whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Charlie Hunnam died.
That's right. Forgot he was in it.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna rewatch. I'm gonna rewatch it again this week at some point.
Okay.
I've decided.
I might have to do that too. Well,
just to get caught. Yeah. I'm doing it just to get caught back up.
We got to figure out time for the second one.
Yeah. But I'm very excited for that. That's the one that big excitement for is that coming up. Other things we have coming up or coming down the line here anyway. On the effing title is we also have a mock draft. It's going to be me and the boys, not DeNutte. DeNutte is out, tapping out for that week. We're going to be doing a mock draft.
Is that 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's after. That's after.
Yeah, keep me away from it. You guys are going to be like, get out of here.
So we have that. We have then another regular episode of the podcast where we haven't decided what we're going to talk about because it's 2 weeks out.
While out.
Yeah, we'll figure it
out.
And
then card game.
No. Then we have another episode where me and Rob talk about the United Football League, the UFL.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we play Pokemon. So, very exciting all around here. Big, I've been loving this. It's been great doing these. I kind of love the new format that we're doing.
Shit,
I don't know about you.
That's right. Then the first Sunday is in 3 weeks. It's not even 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Oh wow. Great.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've been enjoying the new format, and it's been. I think I like this better than what we were doing. That's just me.
We found our footsteps. Yep. Found our footing.
Yep, and we said about it last year that we were gonna do like one a month, and we never did. I feel like now with it like this, and like kind of us getting like this is what we like to do, it's gonna be easier.
It should be easier.
So, but with that being said, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and hanging out. Let us know what you guys think of Fallout.
Yeah,
right.
Let us know how we're doing.
Yes, because
I love that. I loved it. They canonized that Walton Goggins is Fallout guy.
Yes, I did like that too.
We even talked about that. Yeah. He's like, "What if I throw a thumb up?" And I'm like, "That's okay." You could say maybe that's bad writing, but like also that's like kind of what would happen.
Dude, I'm all for that tongue-in-cheek humor, bro. Like it's so like, and it's one of those things because I didn't know if there was an origin to Pip-Boy.
I don't know. And then you know what? Some executive, because they always talk about these dumb executives doing stuff. Yep. Like how, all right, we're going to take this another 2 minutes. Yep. How he was like one guy was like, oh, I was in charge of the power armor. And he's like, well, that killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
After being in it. And he's like, and he's like, just a dumb executive doing dumb stuff. He's like, I don't know. And then like, so literally him doing that is like some executives like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ours now. He's not going to get any money for it, but that's ours now.
Yeah. So, like I said, I had no idea if that was canon or not. So, like,
maybe now it is.
That'd be hilarious if it was. Imagine that if it was a show making something game related canon. That'd be cool. That'd be kind of cool because it would be Fallout 5. Would that be the next one if they did it by numerous?
If it's a Bethesda game, then Fallout
so
5.
if they did 5, imagine if they start putting in Easter eggs from the show into it. That would be hilarious. There's a chicken fucker running around that you got to go find.
Which I think the new mission in Fallout 4 is based around this.
That would be cool.
Because I know you can get. I know in 76 they released a pack where it's Fallout. It's Vault 33 stuff.
That would be cool.
You get her backpack and you get her suit and stuff.
That'd be sick. I'd like that. I like that. So let us know what you guys think, though, down in the comments down below. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about, if there is something you guys want us to talk about. And, just say hi. So, depending on where you are, morning, afternoon, even night, stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.